How are you guys doing today? Today, I want to talk about 9 disadvantages of having cash, and my opinion about cash when I was younger and today. So stay tuned. Once again, because credit is not taught in schools, I grew up in Southeast San Diego, which is more of a harder part of San Diego. Yes, San Diego's full of sun and beaches and so forth, but like most cities, there's an inner city where disenfranchised people live, people who are sort of kind of poor and a place that was sort of kind of drug infested for the most part. But I learned a lot in that area and I don't regret living there. But as a kid, what I seen was drug dealers and athletes that would come through. And for the most part, it was all about having a knot of cash, a wad of cash, made you look cool. A few chains, a nice Monte Carlo or a Cadillac, on some D's, a 6'4" Impala, something along those lines, and a wad of cash. I remember my uncles seeing them, and that's what I looked up to. Very, very nice chains, gold chains, and a wad of cash, always dressed to the T, nice outfits and so forth. And that's what I seen. And so as a kid, success to me meant being a baller, is what we call it. And a baller is somebody who has a lot of cash, a lot of money, a lot of jewels, gets a lot of respect from the streets at times, and that's the situation with regards to that. And as life progressed, I believed that for a very, very long time, until I got into the debt collection industry a little over 15 years ago, and I started learning about credit and learning about debt and how all of that stuff works. And so, we're always taught that, you buy a car with cash, you buy, your house with cash, everything you do, you buy it, you cash out on it, and that shows that you have money. So there are a lot of YouTube videos and so forth out there where it shows people walking with, large and large amounts of cash, buying and purchasing things with that large amount of cash. And I think nowadays people understand it. It's just more for the look, more so than anything else. But nevertheless, that was just the way it was, and that's what I was taught concerning cash. But now I'm going to go into the disadvantages of cash, in my opinion. Right? In my opinion of having cash, some of the disadvantages, 9 of those. So let's start with number 1. Number 1 is carrying cash makes you a target for thieves. Yes, in the inner city, I remember the D-boys, the people who had a lot of cash, sitting in circles with friends and so forth, and people plotting, taking that person's cash, right? Because if you steal the cash, what is the person gonna do? If you steal it, they don't know what happens. There's no tracing cash for the most part, and it becomes very hard. So it makes you a target. So if you're walking around with wads of cash and people see that you have wads of cash, it makes you a target. That definitely makes you a target. Take that in consideration. Number 2, you can lose the cash, right? That's the thing. Carrying wads of cash, I used to carry wads of cash. I would have, $5,000 to $1,000 at a time. I remember even being young and having taking $100 and $1 bills and just having a thick thing and mimicking what I would see in the streets. And there has been times that you lose the money. Once you lose the money, ain't nothing you can do to get it back. It's over with. That money's gone. So you can lose the money. And once the money's lost, it's gone. Someone else picks it up. You can't even, track it or anything along those lines. So that's the number 2 disadvantage of having cash. Number 3, cash doesn't come with 0 fraud liability guarantee. So with a lot of credit cards, if you dropped your credit card on the floor and somebody stole it and charged up a bunch of stuff that you didn't do, you could get your money back. But with cash, if I walked in the same spot I dropped, let's say $1,000 worth of cash, I didn't know I dropped it. I went on about my business until I reach in my pocket and count that money and realize I lost that $1,000. That's it. And once it's gone, it's gone. You can't get it back. Similar to number 2, right? There's no fraud liability, but obviously with the credit card, you can get your money back in a certain amount of time. Another thing, number 4 with cash is cash carries germs. Obviously in the COVID situation now, you got to understand that money that you're getting, a lot of times those 20s, 10s, $100 bills, $1 bills have been exchanged and touched so many different hands, and you have no idea who it is, and there are all kinds of germs in that cash. And so it's not, you can end up getting sick from the cash a lot of times. So cash carries germs. Number 5, cash isn't earning any interest. Yes, I know today's day and age, when you put your money in the bank, the interest rates are so low, you don't even get, you're lucky to get 1%, a lot of times 0.5% on your money. But at least it is getting some type of interest. When you have cash, that's all you have. You have $1,000 today, 20 years from now, you're gonna have $1,000. You put $1,000 in a bank account, that gives interest, obviously, you're gonna get money. So that's another reason why I don't like carrying cash. Let's go to number 6. You're not building up your credit. Carrying cash, even when you're going to places and you're cashing out, let's say you go and you buy a brand new car, it's $30,000 and you pay $30,000 right off the bat with cash. You get no chance to build your credit. All it'll show, obviously, you'll have it as an asset when it comes time to do something, but when creditors are looking at your credit, you don't have any, you're not building any credit. They're gonna look at you, even though you have the cash, as a person who doesn't have the cash for the most part. You're not building any credit. You're not getting anything from that. Okay, so now let's go to 7. The number 7th reason why, a disadvantage of having cash, is with cash, you're missing out on credit card rewards. As we all know, you can look on YouTube. There's all kinds of videos with people explaining how to use the rewards. You get points every time you use a credit card. With cash, you use that cash, it's over with. Once you spend it, it's done. You get no rewards. But with credit cards, you get rewards. You can get, free cash back. You can get free travel. You can get free, hotels, and so forth with regards to having credit. But with cash, none of that stuff happens. Number 8, you cannot pay for online purchases. Obviously, when I was younger, paying for stuff on the internet, I remember, was sort of kind of scary because you didn't know what was going on there. You're putting your information on there. You don't want nobody to steal your information or steal your money out of your bank account and so forth. But with cash, you can't go to Amazon and order something. As we seen during COVID-19, a lot of stuff was shut down. And with regards to buying stuff, if you can't go online and buy stuff with cash, they're not going to take the cash from you at all. You got to actually have a debit card, a credit card, a prepaid debit card, something with regards to paying for stuff online. So that's another disadvantage of having cash. You can't get anything online. Now, the 9th and final reason why I think cash is not good is because cash is clunky, right? It's very, very inconvenient. If you're going inside of a store, let's say, you're at, whatever store, and you're paying for something, and let's say it costs like $87, you got a clunk of cash. Not only are you gonna hold up the line by pulling out the cash and having to count it, it looks bulky in your pants. It's just not, it just looks crazy. I don't know. I hate even having a wallet in my pocket because it's bulky. When you sit down, you're sitting off funny and so forth. And, it's just clunky. It takes more time, pulling it out. And then, like I stated, once you're pulling out big wads of cash, you never know who's watching you and seeing what you're doing. And people will start plotting on you in certain areas, in certain situations. You go to the mall, you're buying stuff, people see you got a bunch of cash. You make yourself a target to be robbed. If you have any questions with regards to this video, with regards to credit or debt, feel free to leave them in the comment section. I promise I'll answer them. I'm starting to get comments in the comment section, so I will be answering those questions. If you don't want to put your comments in the comment section and you want to email me, you can email me directly at askadebtcollector@barrettrecovery.com. I will have it down in the description. As always, you be great.